Hello, this is Ozark Willie. I thought that might be easier to say than Willie from the Ozarks. Anyway, Ozark Willie. um, I like people to kind of know where I'm talking from because I'm talking about a lot of plants during this little lesson. Uh, we're ready for lesson 48. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. We're February the 17th, lesson 48. There's nothing to fear. We've just finished the God is section. Yesterday was God is the strength in which I trust. And he reminded us, if you're trusting in your own wits, you have every reason to be anxious. On the other hand, if you trust in the strength of God that's always in you and always present and always answers every request we have for immediate answer. He always gives us direction if we learn to trust that place in us that's below the tumult of this world. All right. So before I do, I've got something here I want to show you. I was just taking a walk out in the snow, and I just wanted to show you that this is a wild onion. And, I just saw a clump coming up through the snow and I pulled it up. The ground was frozen, so I didn't get any root. But I wanted to show you that this is always something that you can find to eat all the time. Probably not a lot of calories in it, but there is a little sweetness, so there's got to be some sugar. There's protein. And I know that there's all the benefits of the onion, and this is the wild variety. A little bit of dead leaves on there from last year probably, or maybe a little grass coming up through with it. But I just wanted to show you how that stuff will just comes. It stays green year round, and always available to eat. And so anyway, a wild onion. There is a similar one that looks very much like it. I've heard it called crow's feet, but it's supposed to be a poisonous one. It also has a little bulb that looks like an onion. You don't want to eat it. You can tell the difference. If it doesn't smell like an onion, it's probably not an onion. I had a friend of mine that he said, I picked some of that and ate it and got sick. And I said, what? He said it didn't even have a very strong onion flavor. And I thought to myself, it probably didn't have any onion flavor. And I told him about crow's feet, or at least that's what I've called it. And I said, they say it make you sick. And he said, well, that must have been what I ate. And my friend John. All right, lesson 48. So after we realize that God is, our next step is there's nothing to fear. I wanted to point out that when the first receiver of this message, Helen Schuckman, received it, she had become an atheist at the time of her starting to hear this voice. And she had been an atheist, evidently, for a long time. And her very first dream that was so life-changing for her, she says that she was in a cave and this words appeared. And it just said, God is. God is. We've been doing the God is sections. And once you realize that God is, there's truly nothing to fear. God goes with you wherever you go. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Of course, that was her change from atheism to the belief that God is. All right? There's nothing to fear. The idea for today simply states a fact. It is not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. In truth, there is nothing to fear. It is very easy to recognize this, but it is very difficult to recognize for those who want illusions to be true. A lot we could say there, but it's more of that's what this book's about. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Well, if you want what is not real to exist, it's going to be hard for you to understand that there's nothing to fear. Paragraph 2. Today's practice periods will be very short, very simple, and very frequent. Merely repeat the idea as often as possible. You can use it with your eyes open at any time and in any situation. It is strongly recommended, however, that you take a minute or so whenever possible to close your eyes and repeat the idea slowly to yourself several times. It is particularly important that you use the idea immediately should anything disturb your peace of mind. So if anything disturbs your peace of mind, be sure to remember the lesson. There is nothing to fear. These are immediate helps in time of need. If we use our curriculum to assist us, we just start watching for those moments where we have a little anxiety or a little disappointment or a little upsetness, a little irritation, a little dislikeness, a little unhappy feeling of any type. And we immediately say, I've let my ego make a decision here, and I'd like to trade it in for a better thought. And so then you're trying to think, what's a good thought? Well, the lessons are designed for that very thing. Just say the lesson. There is nothing to fear. All right. And the last paragraph. I think this is the shortest lesson in our course, or one of the short ones. The presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength. The presence of fear is a sure sign that you're trusting in your own strength. The awareness that there is nothing to fear shows that somewhere in your mind, not necessarily in a place which you recognize as yet, you have remembered God and let His strength take the place of yours. The instant you are willing to do this, there is indeed nothing to fear. I like that. The instant that you are willing to do this, to do what? The awareness that there is nothing to fear shows that somewhere in your mind, not necessarily in a place which you recognize as yet, you have remembered God and let His strength take the place of yours. The instant you are willing to remember God and let His strength take place of yours, there is indeed nothing to fear. And then we can do, as he said a few days ago, we can learn to laugh at fear thoughts. That's what we really want to do, is get really good at stepping back and knowing that we are always cared for and that we can laugh at what used to make us afraid. All right? Until tomorrow, be sure to laugh at everything and see the goodness. There is indeed nothing to fear.